Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking your time today, this nice warm 50-degree weather in February, to talk about mentorship with the office, well, CMAS and our Student Success Office. And we'll be focusing on first-generation students on campus, and the topic is mentorship. So if you would like to introduce yourself.
My name is Wilmore Webley. It is good to be with you. I am an associate professor in microbiology and also the associate dean in our graduate school for inclusion and engagement.
Perfect, wonderful. And happy Black History Month. I said this in my last interview earlier this morning, but I went to a session last night and heard Dr. Janetta B. Cole speak. And one of the concepts they mentioned was it's Black History Month, but also Black Futures Month. And I thought that was pretty deep. So I'm gonna take that ideology and continue with it. So happy Black Futures Month.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you. Yeah, it's a great concept. And you know, what we're doing now is our history in the making. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I didn't coin that term. Dr. Whitney Battle Baptiste from the Anthropology Afro-Am department said it. Don't know if she coined it, but I will be adopting that into my vocabulary. So we'll be centering this conversation around Blackness and the visibility of the Black diaspora within higher ed and on our campus or in our institution, but specifically to mentorship and role modeling. So without further ado, I'm going to dive in to these questions. Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So first question, what does the concept of mentorship mean to you? And why is it so important to seek out, especially for first generation college students?
For first generation, especially students who are underrepresented, mentoring is everything. Finding a group of mentors, and if you notice, I said a group, not a single person, because you'll never find a single person who embodies all of your values, all of your hopes, and all of your dreams. So you find a group of mentors, you find multiple people, and they don't have to be on the same campus as you are. You can find them wherever they are. But it is through mentorship that you're able to develop a sense of self and of the possibilities of your future. It is through mentorship that you start building a foundation and a platform, especially as somebody who doesn't yet have a good set of examples as to who you can be and what the path is that you need to walk in order to get there. It is walking in the footsteps of people with whom you can identify, people who have traveled the same road as you have, people who grew up in similar neighborhoods as you have, people who have overcome similar challenges as you are going through. Those are the people who can turn out to be the best mentors for first generation underrepresented students.
And thank you for saying a various or group of mentors, right? Because I think diversity of thought is important, and giving different ideologies or different versions or visions or views on certain things before you make a decision. And so that's important to have a group of people that you can go to and call your mentors. If this was a Facebook status, I would like that, double tap. Our next question, what role has mentorship played in your life?
Yeah, you know, I remember thinking when I was growing up back in Jamaica to parents who never even had the opportunity to go to grade school. And I was thinking, if I could just get to high school, then I'll be able to make something of myself. And I got to high school, and luckily, a distant relative was able to help me. And then they said to me, you need to go to college. I had never even considered college. For me, college was never even in the equation. Why? Because I never had the mentorship. But because they had done college and they knew the process of college, they were able to help me to get to college. And I was scared to death. I didn't know what to expect. I felt like I didn't even have the ambition to go to college. But through the mentorship of Herbert J. Thompson, Dr. Herbert Thompson, who later became the president of the Northern Caribbean University, where I went and did my undergraduate degree. This was a man with whom I could identify. He grew up in a family, he was the last kid. His mother died in childbirth. His father didn't care much about him. And as a result of that, he was kind of held back. And when he was in his early 20s was when he entered high school. But from there, he was able to build through mentorship a career in the sciences, which led him to a place where he was a fantastic professor of genetics, researcher, and to a president. And his life just resonated with me. He wrote a book called Rural Gumption. And almost every chapter of it, I could see myself in it. And so this man became my mentor. He became a motivator. He had studied for part of his life in the United States and understood the educational system here and in other places of the world that he was able to travel. And through him and through his encouragement to read, I was able to travel to far places of the world through books and through conversations. And that now whet my appetite for wanting more. And so as I navigated my way through college, I was able to pick up more mentors on the way. And from there, career-wise, I was able to get more mentors. And the thing I want to say is not all of them had my skin tone. I had really, really excellent mentors who were Caucasians, who were from the Middle East, who were from the UK, people who had traveled similar paths through poverty and through want and through the desire to make a better life for themselves and their families. And it helped me tremendously. And today, I still have that cadre of mentors who I can go to when I'm having issues. I can go to when I feel a sense of a loss, a sense of not belonging. And I'm able to get through that because of these people I have on my side. So it is through mentorship that I'm wearing.
Thank you for that. And thank you for allowing us to take that journey with you from your past to your present. And that was a profound story to start life in quotations at 20. So it's not about where you began, it's about your ending. And so from 20 years old, starting high school to ending your career, if he's not retired, or if he's still working as a college president, university president, something probably he never even fathomed that he would even be. So, and thank you for that. So our final question for our current students, and once again, possibly prospective students, when is the best time to start seeking mentorship? What's your number one piece of advice for those just starting out?
I would say it's never too early to get a mentor. We need different people at different stages of our lives. The mentors that you look to in high school might not necessarily be the mentors you need when you're starting college. So as you enter college, take time to look around. See the people who actually take time to listen to you. It is the people who listen to you. They are the people who are going to become your better mentors. They are the people who are going to take time to be there for you. Also, as I said initially, look for a group of mentors. Look far and wide. If you have an opportunity as you start college to go to conferences where you have people who are interested in the same profession that you are, see who they are. There are people who professionally, I envy them in the position that they are. They're great grant writers. They're excellent researchers. They're dominant in the field. They know how to write a good paper, how to edit one. They're efficient and organized, and that I admire. But then in their personal life, I want nothing to do with the way they live their lives and the values that they hold. So I find a different person who holds those values. And I use those individuals as my basis for mentorship and for growth and for stability. Having people in your life who take time to understand where you're coming from, because where you're coming from is an important part of where you're going to end up. And people who are willing to acknowledge where you have been and build on the future that you already have. Because wherever you're coming from, whether you're coming out of high school, into college, whether you're transferring from another place to here, you already have a history that is informing your future. And that history needs to be acknowledged. That foundation has to be acknowledged. Otherwise, what you're asking for somebody to erase whom you've built over these past 15, 16, 17, 18 years up until now. And that won't serve you well. You need people who can acknowledge who you are and ignite in you the circuits of your full potential so that you can get to the place where you need to be. So someone says that good teachers are those who, having crossed over themselves to where they want to be, lay down a bridge over which they allow you to cross. They use themselves as that bridge, allowing you to cross. And if you're lucky enough, one day you'll be able to do that for somebody, that you will become the bridge over which they will cross to their futures. So that's what mentorship is. That's what you want to be looking for. You want to start early. You want to be patient in looking. You want to be thoughtful in not trying to emulate every aspect of a mentor's life, because not all of it might align with your values as a person. And you want to integrate that with your personal values and your personal connections. And then from there, use them as a launching pad for recommendations, for guidance, for direction, as springboard to the next level of your career and beyond. And then from there, make yourself available to mentoring. If it's even just to stop and say hello to somebody who seemed like they're in distress, that might be the thing that got them through that day.
Putting back into the world what you received, that positivity being that reflection of that leadership. So thank you so much for those words of wisdom and that strong advice to our current students here at UMass. And I think it resonates with me of finding someone that maybe I like your work and your style of supervision or your research, but your personal values may not align. So maybe you're a mentor that goes but so far for me. And that's okay, right? I'm able to take pieces of different people to make the puzzle for me to reach my full potential. So thank you so much. Mentoring team. And many Fortune 500 companies and CEOs have that advisory team around them, or that those board of trustees around them. So I think it's a good concept to adopt on a personal, individual level. For sure.
Unfortunately, it's very hard to find, especially male mentorship for underrepresented students, for Black students in particular, in academia. You don't often see a lot of people with our skin color.
Right.
But what I can tell you is that for those of us who are here, we're more than happy to spend some time saying, hey, this is how we got here. This is how we succeeded.
Yes.
These were the challenges. These were the opportunities. You don't have to, replicate my life because I'm in a different time from you are. But there might be lessons that you can learn there.
Absolutely.
Come sit and talk a little bit.
Absolutely. And this isn't just on the academic level, right? People need personal or professional career mentors as well. Me being a young professional in a certain spot, I can go to someone who's been here, who knows more about UMass, that I can say, hey, this is something I want to do. Do you think this is the right community for, or the time of year to even launch this idea? And developing that relationship with the person that can say, yeah, that's something that's great that would work here. Or the spring's very heavy with programming. Let's think about that in the fall, or make that a parking lot idea until COVID's over. So mentoring definitely goes beyond just academic support. It goes into personal support as well. So thank you so much for taking time this afternoon. I know you're very busy. We are so appreciative of the work that you're doing locally and globally. And hopefully from this video, we'll get some males of color, as you were saying, there's a low amount of faculty and staff that may have the same melanin as us or look like us, but hopefully a few of us that are here, we can get some Black males just come to you and say, hey, I'm looking for that mentorship, or Black females, or however they identify within the Black diaspora. But what you're saying is true. There are small numbers of us, and that's why history and future.
And on campus, we actually have a group of Black faculty and staff members who have formed kind of an informal group. Where we're just now getting ready to start hanging out together and talking. So
Mhm,
there you'll have a cohesive group of men
mhm.
who are willing to be mentors on this campus for whoever wants our time.
Oh, wonderful, good to know. We'll make sure we pitch it. Thank you
All right,
once
yeah,
again.
good to
All
see you.
right, I see you too. Have a great afternoon.